Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life, and welcome to this 1983 horror movie review as part of my overall 1980s horror movie series. So the movie we're going to take a look at today, again, is another one I don't have the physical media for. There's actually a lot of horror movies from 1983 that I don't own. I do have some, as you'll see throughout the months here, the next few months, but this is a movie that I watched on Netflix, actually, and that movie is a sequel to a movie that I'd never seen before. But the movie's Grizzly II Revenge from 1983 slash 2020. And for those of you that are wondering, why does it have 2 years attached to it? Well, I'm going to explain that here in a minute. But I haven't seen the original Grizzly from 1976. I kind of read the synopsis. It doesn't sound like going into this movie I needed to see it. Like there's really no connection to the first movie with this one, so I didn't feel obligated to having to watch the original Grizzly before I watched this one. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Grizzly 2 Revenge, starting with the setup and the premise. So Grizzly 2 Revenge, sometimes stylized Grizzly 2 Revenge, also known as Grizzly 2 The Predator and Grizzly 2 The Concert, um, is a 1983 American action thriller horror film that was not properly released until 2020. It was directed by Andre Zotz, and is a sequel to the 1976 film Grizzly, directed by William Girdler and David Sheldon. The film is about a giant grizzly named Tawanda who seeks revenge after her cub is killed by poachers. So yeah, in the vast Yellowstone National Park, grizzly bears and other wildlife roam free while hikers and campers abound. The National Park Service is charged with the protection of the park and its wildlife, and the rangers are always on the lookout for poachers. The park is preparing for a major rock concert to be held over 3 days in Grover Meadows and expects 50,000 people in attendance. At the ranger station, Chief Ranger Nick Hollister is briefing the rangers on the upcoming event. A poacher named Harvey is hunting for a grizzly bear and ends up killing the cub and wounding its mother. The grizzly bear, seeking revenge, viciously attacks and kills Harvey. Nick and Pete, the head the head park ranger, relay the news to Eileen Dragon, the superintendent of Summit. They press Dragon to halt the concert for everyone's safety, but Dragon declines to get involved. So yeah, that's to set up the premise of the beginning of Grizzly 2 Revenge. As far as the cast goes, some well-known names in this movie. Steve Inwood is Nick Hollister. Louise Fletcher is Eileen Dragon. John Rhys Davies is Carl Bouchard. Edward Meeks is Pete Taylor. Deborah Raffin as Samantha Owens. Dick Anthony Williams as Charlie Hill. Deborah Foreman as Chrissy Hollister. George Clooney as Ron. Laura Dern as Tina. And Charlie Sheen as Lance. So yeah, those are some pretty well-known names in this movie here, which is one of the reasons I was kind of excited to check it out, frankly. But before I get into that and my review of the movie, the reason so this was mostly shot in 1983. However, like another movie that I reviewed a couple of days ago, um, it was a movie that didn't have the money to be finished to be um it was a movie that was shelved basically for 37 years. And it's kind of funny, on one of the covers or one of the posters it says Grizzly 2 Revenge, a film 37 years in the making. No, it's a film that was shelved for 37 years, and frankly, my you'll find out in my review, but I think it should have been shelved for another 37, given the way the movie turned out. But that's neither here nor there at this moment. But anyway, yeah. So it was mostly shot in 1983, like 70% of this movie anyway. And then it was finished in around 2020 and was actually released on VOD in 2020. So that's the reason why it is a 1983 horror movie, but it wasn't completed and actually fully released until 2020. So whatever that's worth to you. Um, but yeah, I did not like this movie. It was painful. It was not a horror at all. In fact, I think the movie was more about how to hold a concert in a national forest park. than it was about a grizzly bear attacking people. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my review, starting with the pros or the things I liked about the movie, and this will go fast. Um, it's not a big time commitment. The whole movie's only 74 minutes long, thank God. And that 74 minutes includes a lot of padding, a lot of modern stock footage, actually. So actually, the footage that they had from 1983 was probably more like 45 or 50 minutes, to be honest with you. But of course, they had to pad out the runtime. That's why it was shelved. Part of the reason it was shelved for so long. They just didn't have enough material there. So not a big time commitment, just over an hour. So thank God for that. And then my other pro for the movie is it does have a lot of well-known cast members, either before they hit it big, in the case of our three top billers in this movie, um, or pretty well-known people for that time in the 80s, the early 80s. You know, people like John Rhys Davies, who obviously I know best as Sala from the Indiana Jones movie. He'd done Raiders of the Lost Ark a couple years before this. Louisa Fletcher from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, as well as um, Flowers in the Attic, I always remember her for, which would come out a few years after this. And then Deborah Foreman, of course, who most notably I know from Valley Girl, as well as April Fool's Day, which came out a few years after this. So some pretty well known names in the movie. So that was kind of a pro. That's what got me to look forward to watching this movie, and then that quickly went away. Um, Once I saw what they did with those cast members as far as their characters and everything goes. So yeah, that's the good things about this movie, and I had to struggle to come up with those. As far as cons go, again, just like what was the movie that I reviewed a few days ago? You could pretty much just copy and paste my review. A Night to Dismember. I don't know why I couldn't remember it. I was probably trying to forget, but it's just a mess of a movie, from the plot to the directing to the editing to to any kind of coherence or through line. None of it works. It's so messy. The amount of obvious modern stock footage that they insert into this movie, it only adds to the incoherent mess that the movie is. Especially the 15 minutes of actual concert that we get to watch. A concert that was clearly shot in 2019 or 2020, when modern times, basically, within the last 10 years, had nothing to do with 1983. And it's so obvious because there's a big difference when you watch film from the early 80s to obviously the late 2010s. That they don't even try to hide it or make it like a seamless visual like a seamless sort of visual transition there. It's so obvious. There's a lot of overhead shots of this forest where they just show the tops of the trees. The beginning of the movie, you have this random grizzly bear and a cub, which really have nothing to do with the movie. They don't look at all like the grizzly bear, the animatronic that they try to use from 1983. It's so bad, man. It just totally takes you out of the movie. I'm not stock footage is, unless used in very, and when I say very, I mean very small amounts to try to make a point or something in a movie. Really, stock footage. If you have to use that much stock footage to get a movie released, then just leave the movie on the shelf. That's my opinion about it. But yeah, you see more concert going on in this movie, a modern concert, than you do grizzly bear attacks. Um, as well as I already said that. The look and action of the bear is so bad, man. They couldn't get this animatronic mechanical bear to work. It has limited movements and limited realism. In fact, I would say no realism. Um, yeah, it's just not good at all. And the attacks and the kills by the bear are some of the worst I've ever seen, frankly, with quick edited cuts leading to all off-screen kills. Not a lot. Every single kill in this movie is off-screen, including that of our three headliners here: George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, and Laura Dern's characters. It's all shot off, so you don't even get to see them killed by a grizzly bear in this movie. Nothing works here. It's just a complete frustrated mess. Um, no blood or gore. There's no tension in the movie, no suspense, nothing at all that resembles a horror, any sort of horror in the movie. It's badly written with really cheesy and bad dialogue. Now you could look at it and say, I know there's a lot of movie that really like B horror movies, like really cheesy, so bad it's good. And granted, I'm not the greatest judgment on those kind of movies because I'm not a big fan of shot on video. Or, I mean, I do like some B horror movies, but they have to have a certain level of production value, a certain level of competence to them. I can't just watch a bunch of nonsense and enjoy it. I know some people can, and hey, credit to you. I don't really think this is so bad. It's good. I think it had a chance to be so bad it's good. But when you actually don't have any on-screen bear kills, which apparently the first Grizzly movie at least had that from 1976, that's considered a Jaws ripoff. Obviously, like a lot of movies were from 76 to 79. But they actually do have kills on screen. It actually is about a grizzly bear attacking people. And in this movie, the attacks are like I said, they're quick cuts off screen. You just see the bear like swipe at somebody and the person goes flying like 20 yards or something. It's terrible. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If you like this movie, I applaud you. I really do. I'm going to give Grizzly II Revenge a 3 out of 10. And the only reason I'm giving it a 3 is because of the cast that's in the movie. It was interesting to at least see George Clooney, Laura Dern, and Charlie Sheen for the 3 minutes and 58 seconds that they were actually on screen. Even though they were the three top billers, as my image shows for this particular review video. Yeah, it's just not for me. It is available on Blu-ray. I don't know for how much. I have no interest in purchasing it, but I do know that if you want to just check it out for shits and giggles, you can see it on. It's on Netflix right now, and it's also on YouTube. So I would check it out that way, and then decide if it's something you can get any sort of value or entertainment out of, if you want to buy it or not. But 3 out of 10 for Grizzly II Revenge from 1983/2020. Please like this video, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber already. It would really help me out for the future content on my channel going forward. With that being said, I hope you guys are enjoying this trip down 1983 horror movie review lane. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay scared. Bye.